If I ever actually had a reasonable number of people viewing, if I had like 40 people viewing and we did like a 5 div sync drop or something, that would be so flipping cool. I'm sure people have done it, but I remember watching one World of Warships official stream where what was it? Who's that Euro guy who works for them? Mr. something. He got everybody to sync drop in Mikasas. They just jammed up the Mr. Oh my God, what is his name? Anyway. Yeah, he got everybody to sync drop in Mikasas, the tier 2 Japanese battleship, that weird little premium. They just jammed up the server. Mr. Conway is the one I'm thinking of, yeah. Mr. Conway? Okay, we're going to sync drop in our Mikasas. So if you have a Mikasa, go ahead and get it ready. And I will tell you when to sync drop. Like, Mr. Conway. Yeah, that was a funny gag. All right, how are we doing on the average XP train? Okay, we have a slight advantage of about 50 average XP. That's not quite enough to be statistically significant in my trials. I should do some more data on that. It's been a few years. So I think it's a pretty balanced team overall. Looking at what I'm looking at here. Pommern versus FDG. I think most people would choose the Pommern, maybe because it's newer, maybe because its gun handling is a little bit different. I'm going to split, I think, from you and go between A and B, Skada. We got Azuma versus Heisen. I really like the Heisen. I don't know how other people feel about that boat. I think it came out, it was a long grind. I don't think everybody got it, but it's common enough that you see it in battles. It's not like Odin rare, right? So I think the Heisen is a good boat. I like that it has more barrels than the Azuma, but you do have to give some better angles to your enemies when you're taking the Heisen out sometimes than you do in the Azuma. But Azuma, you got to remember, it isn't 3 guns on all the time. It's 2 guns on all the time, and with a little wiggle, you get that 3rd gun, which is kind of similar to what you got to do in the Heisen anyway. So I think I would go with the Heisen, maybe just because it's newer and shiny. I'm not sure. Massachusetts over Monarch, every day, all day. Come on, it's not a question. Vladivostok over Monarch, every day, all day. The real matchup there is Massachusetts versus Vladivostok, and I think the answer is still Massachusetts, despite Russian bias and despite how good the Vladivostok is. I can't overstate how much I like that little boat, and it's a tech tree boat that anybody can go grind up and get. So it's worth picking up. The Chicole. I don't have that boat, so I can't speak to whether or not it's any good. I do have the Ashitaka. It's okay. I bet you the Italian one's better because it's newer and fancier, but I don't know. So I'm going to leave that one on the table. If you guys want to make comments in chat about whether or not you think the Capricornichole is better than the Ashitaka, then you can. Neptune versus Alaska B. It's Alaska B. Don't ask me that question. You already know the answer. Mogami, Edinburgh. I would probably go with Edinburgh, even though I like the Japanese cruisers. Edinburgh has a few more tricks up its sleeve. Atlanta. I don't like either of those boats. Benson, Kagero. It's probably Benson for me because I think it's more applicable to more scenarios. Kagero's a good boat though, so I would never say a bad thing about it. I like the Kagero. Fantasque and Kagero. Kagero's a better torp boat. Fantasque's a better gun boat. Which one do you want to be? Your pick. I'm getting to where I like the Fantasque. It's the first French destroyer that doesn't suck. I didn't like any of the tier 1 through 7 boats. I thought they were all hot trash. I only played 5, 6, and 7 though, so I didn't play the 1 through 3 or the 2 through 3 or whatever. I'm trying to help get this guy killed. Let me aim here instead of flapping my jaws. Z23 versus Kagero. Uh-oh. Oh boy. Okay. Z23 I would take over the Kagero. Hey, they have an 8 to our 7. That's not cool. Even after the dead boats. I would take Kiev over ACAT, and I would... Oh, Ashitaka is a destroyer. Okay. I'm going to stop comparing things and start fighting this war. Anyway, long story short, those are my picks. That's how I see it. I'm going to turn around and go into A here. See what's up with these guys. Edinburgh over here is in a bad way. He's lost his destroyer. I don't know if he has any other friends. But yeah, if we can get down there and get eyeballs on that Edinburgh, or torps or guns, he's probably going to dump. And then we'll be just fine. Now the enemy has a really strong position at Bravo. In fact, Scott is in danger. I don't know if he's spotted or not. In his Z-23. He's exercising the Z-23 versus Kagero battle that I was saying I would choose the Z-23 in, but that Kagero has a lot of help. So I'm going to throw some shots at this Kagero. Maybe we can get him killed so that he can't spot Scott anymore and Scott can live. Getting some hits, not tons, but maybe we can dump him. There we go, nice job, well done. I hit F10 on accident. There's Edinburgh. I'm gonna step onto Alpha. We're gonna cap this thing. Tell our folks to shoot that Edinburgh. I think we can get that done. I like picturing the Wargaming Euro guys sitting around in the office and just being like, what if we gave out, like, I don't know, 1,200 Mikasas? Do you think we could get everyone to load up in a tier 2 battleship? Mr. Conway. That's not a very good impression of Mr. Conway, but it doesn't matter. I'm doing any voice at all. That's the gag. That's the joke. I'm just gonna spot Edinburgh so our guys can kill him. And I think they're close enough, they don't need me to spot him anymore. I just wanted to get that cap. And then I actually want to move on to Bravo. Scott has moved on a little bit, which is good. Oh shoot, radar. Who's got me on radar? Who is this? Is that Edinburgh? Is it radar Edinburgh? What? I think it's a radar Edinburgh. Because it's got to be either him or the Alaska, and it's not the Alaska. Wow, that's gutsy. That guy's confident. A skilled player can use the Edinburgh with radar. But the Edinburgh, in the hands of all players, needs smoke. What do you do? I don't know if it needs smoke. I need smoke in it. Alright, Freddy G. You want to hit your rapid reload after you've fired the salvo. If you hit it before, even for a few milliseconds, you will experience some wasting of the resource. So make sure all of your shots, all of your guns are empty and reloading before you hit the speed up reload button. Obvious advice, police, out in full force. I hit my turbo here because Massachusetts and that other, and the Friedrich are close to me. I didn't even look to see if we got into the same match. I'm assuming not, since we didn't talk about it. Yeah, we did not. In a sec. Sorry about that. The missus was heading out to run an errand, and I had a question for her. Alright then, battle time. Fighting some ships, taking some caps. Where'd that Freddy go? Oh, poor Freddy. You've been separated from the herd. My gun range is enough. So I'm going to wait till I bring my guns around because I want all my barrels to be empty. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to hit T and we're going to scorch this MFer as best we can while that is running. If you've got an easy target to hit, and if I don't undershoot this guy as he pulls away, I undershot him a little there with that salvo. These are better. Then you can get 5 to 10k damage pretty easily with this. This guy was a little more armored than some. But I did get a fire on him, which helped. Trying to use this island here. Keep me safe from that monarch. Lose range on the Freddy. That's too bad. I was hoping to be able to... burn him to death. Oh my gosh. He's down to 2,800 hit points. We gonna finish torping that guy? Are they gonna get him? Ah, come on. Throw some shells at this dude here. Monarch has a decent heal. It's in like the if there are like strata of battleship heals at tier 8, the Monarch is in strata 2. The first strata is only Massachusetts and Massachusetts B, which has the best heal. Then I think it's like Monarch, which is not nearly as good, but it does exist as a grouping or whatever that is better than all the other battleships. And the rest are all basically the same, at least in my research. I haven't looked at every ship probably, but I think I looked at 6 or 8 of them. I made a YouTube video about it, talking about the Massachusetts' ridiculous super heal. It's not a super heal per se, but it's pretty good and it reloads super fast. What's up with these torps, you guys? Little Kagero babies, probably. Uh-oh. I don't like what's happening here. Nice torps from that guy. This is just a ballet. Now in this case, I'm going to hit my reloader right now, because I don't know if I'll live long enough to take full advantage. Getting kind of punked over here. Get some shots fired off. I think that, what was that, a Fletcher? Who was that guy? A Benson. I think that Benson's torps are going to finish that guy off, but that's okay. I sent mine anyway just as insurance. That Alaska's in trouble. We know that much. Yep, there comes his Shamedar. He put up his shame radar. His Shamedar. Yeah, you're done, son. I mean, the problem with that is I wasted all my torpedoes and this Monarch is very much alive. Oh, but he's 9.4k away. I'm good. Friedrich, by the way, Friedrich was down to under 2,000 hit points. He's back up to 26,000 because we let him get away. 26,000 hit points. No, thank you. How are we doing on score? We are winning, but this game could flip. Our team's kind of spread out. Their team is moving a little bit more as a unit, which means people getting caught out could be in trouble. So we're going to try to avoid that. And I'm going to do that by trying to stay away from their Kagero, which I don't know where he is. That is an old position report from that Kagero. He could be... Son of a bee, Mogami. He could be anywhere. I was about to say, he could be anywhere as I get torped just like I did as a Rune Lord in the previous match. But, yeah, he could be a lot of places. The Kagero's not a real speed demon or anything. But, oh crap, here's that Friedrich within secondary range who doesn't like me very much because of all the fires I sent him on his birthday. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see how this goes. Trying to not get spotted out by our friend Kagero. 48,000 damage on the clock. My average in this boat's 36, which is not great. That's solidly in yellow, right? It's just not quite good. green being good. So I've been slowly kind of ticking it up a little bit better. 47 is probably in green territory for this ship, but not necessarily in green territory. Split and share the wealth here. I don't think either of those are going to hit, but they're going to make those guys think twice about going places. Those torpedoes are only 8-kilometer torps. They kind of rely on those ships moving forward a little bit in order to make the connection. Right now that Monarch's at 9, even if he steams right for me, right? These ones might, but I think he's just going to fish between them, isn't he? Yeah, he's good. Now, if he doesn't know much about the Fantasque, he might be thinking, aha, he fired both of his torps. I'm good now. Not knowing I have weird triangle torp config. Of course, that battleship behind me means he's going to angle back in probably, which means this won't, those torps probably won't hit him either. Excuse me. We're going to use our rapid reloader and throw some hot shells at this guy. We got to fire on him. I'm going to switch to the other battleship. These guys set themselves up perfectly in the how to burn battleships 101 scenario. So multiple fires on him, switching back to the Kalole. And I got more fires on him, switching back to Monarch. This is going to increase my damage in a ridiculous way. Neither of those guys healed the first fires I put on them. Okay, so he's healed his fires. I'm going to switch back over here, see if we can't get another fire. If I get a fire on the Caracciolo, what is it? Caracciolo, it will actually burn the full duration at this point. So I'd be really interested in a fire on that guy if I can get one. Now my rapid reload is done. It probably is. There's just so many syllables. There we go. Got a fire on him. And that one's going to keep going. I'm going to switch back to the Monarch. Should boost my numbers fairly well. We'll see. I'm out of... I can't believe neither of these guys... Okay, there they come. It's like, nobody's even shot at me yet. Like, I know they got a battleship behind me, but like... Or they did have one over there. Okay, if we can get another fire on this Monarch, that would be fantastic. It'd be Fantasque. Caracciolo. Thanks, Scada. We figured it out. I gotta go. I think my luck has been pushed. Ah! No! The Cardi B. If they came out with a black edition for Halloween or for the Black Friday sale, that'd be rad. Caracciolo B. So I used the get lots of fires on multiple battleships and let them burn technique. And I went from, where was I, 50,000 damage to 87,000 damage, right? But when you have two battleships in range and you can switch between them in a rapid firing gunboat destroyer, that is the best way to what you're trying to do is consume their repairs, right? You want to consume their damage control parties. How do you say get back? F9. Specifically you, Mogami. Also, kill the Kagero. Anyway, it's a great way to rack up those damage numbers. I'm gonna not be able to get this guy. Oh, I got a fire. Please give me one dot. Just one dot. No, no dots. Yeah, the Mogami was gonna win harder. He was gonna torp him. You know, so he started backing into the cap. Can't really back up because I'm in a chair. There's like a whole green screen back here. It's like physically impossible to do so. Yeah, I'm gonna let us win in 26 seconds here. I'm really tempted to shoot that cappuccino, but I don't think I should do it. So my shell flight time is 7 seconds.
Perfect.
I timed it. I timed it so there'd be about a second and a half left. Oh. Sorry guys, I just got a call about how my warranty's expiring on my car. That seems very real. I was like, oh yeah, it tells me shelf light time. Let's use that. Hey, great battle in the Fantasque. That was fun. That was great. I'm not even first. These guys did some real work. I mean, 88,000 damage isn't like I should be top of the scoreboard, but that was great. Oh, let's take a look at the fire damage I got on those two battleships. That'll be kind of interesting. Speaking of maths. Caracciolo. Fires. 6 fires on that guy. I put 6 fires on that dude for 22,000 damage. Multiple of those, of course, he healed right away, right? And the Monarch, only 2. So most of my fires landed on the Caracciolo. But yeah, those were those 2 guys I'm ping-ponging back and forth between. Some damage on this guy too. 3 fires on the Friedrich. So yeah, I put some fires out there. 14 in the Fantasque, and part of that was made possible by utilizing all of those rapid reload modules. I should learn what that thing's actually called. I have a slang term for every one of them, but reload booster, I guess, is I think what they call it. Let's check it out. Let's learn something today. It is called main battery reload booster. Now we know. All right, we're gonna roll down to tier 7. Scoop up some interesting boat to play down there, or maybe the Surrey.